Hey planner folks, it's Sarah, also known as Quasi Thoughts. I wanted to talk to you today about Gillio. Specifically, if you've never ordered a Gillio before, some thoughts and tips I have on how to go about getting one. But also, I just wanted to throw out there and make it really clear to people who haven't purchased from Gillio before some of the policies that Gillio has in place in case it ends up impacting you. So I just want to level set by saying the probability of this happening to you is pretty low. Nobody is going to argue that this happens on every sale or even the majority of the sales. I honestly think about 90% of the time you'll have no problem whatsoever. But the possibility is there. And I have been in forums and threads where people mention having these kinds of problems, and the customer service resolution kind of leaves a slight bad taste in my mouth, to the point that I just feel like a video like this is warranted, just so that when you spend your money with Gillio, you're doing it with full disclosure. Ultimately, because my loyalty is not to Gillio. My loyalty is to my fellow planner people. This is the advice that I would and have told IRL, IRL real friends about ordering from Gillio. And, they've gone on to buy planners. So I'm not trying to talk anybody out of buying anything, right? Your money, if you have the money to spend on a $300 planner and it's something that you want, by all freaking means, buy a Gillio. They're beautiful. They have the potential to be amazing planners. I just want you to be aware of the fact that this could be the outcome of your order. And if and when it does happen, I want you to know that your recourse is limited to what Gillio decides to do, which sometimes is good and sometimes is not good. Okay, so first of all, when you sign and accept your box from DHL, you have the, post guy coming to deliver and he's got 30 some odd deliveries yet to go, and he just wants you to sign the box before he hands it to you, because that's what they do. As soon as you sign on the dotted line there, you're accepting the condition of that planner. So if you open it up and find damage from shipping in the planner, like on the planner or anything along those lines, you have signed away your ability to get it compensated through the insurance that Gillio uses. I have not heard of somebody having shipping damage that Gillio then compensated them for. I have heard of people having really horrible shipping damage. They signed for the box because the box didn't look bad, and then Gillio did not compensate them for it, and the planner was trashed. So if the box is crushed, if the box is wet, if the box looks like it had a hard time, stayed up too late and drank a lot, don't accept it. Don't sign for it. This is Gillio's advice themselves. This is a really difficult position to put their consumer in, though, because now we're already kind of in a high pressure situation where for us to do our due diligence on this signature, we're delaying somebody else's job, right? But on top of that, this is a planner that's probably sold out online, so you're not going to get it again. You'll have to go through the whole Hunger Games of ordering a second time the next time they restock, and be lucky again to get it to come back, right? On the chance that your planner might be damaged because the box looks bad. And sometimes the planner's damaged and the box doesn't look bad. I don't know. It's just, it leaves me feeling like Gillio finds customers replaceable. And if they don't sell the planner to me, they're just as happy to sell it to the next person in line, which really all companies are, to one degree or another. But this is a relatively small niche market. Like, there's not a huge number of people out there that want to drop $300 to $500 on a planner. And I do think their marketing and their hype is pretty good and high at the moment, but I don't think it will be forever. And this kind of a policy, I don't like it. Honestly, it turns me off personally. You do whatever you feel comfortable with. Just know that this is something that you're signing up for when you make an order. Okay, so that's one. 2, if you get photos of your order, you can't get buzz shipping. This might be changing. They kind of hinted at it in a recent video that Mella did. But I think photos is a fantastic option and a fantastic service that they offer. Most planners that I order from people where they make the planner for me, like Hand Stitched Leather Tea, Bujo Planner on Instagram. I'm trying to think of some others, like Sojourner, I think, a few years ago when I was ordering those. I got pictures of the actual planner I was buying before they shipped it. So I think it's wonderful that Gillio offers this as well. However, personally me, this is not just me reading on the forums, I have had planners arrive with marks and things, natural variation, as Gillio would say, that don't really show up in the pictures. So there is a level of the lighting, I think, that they use to take those pictures, combined with maybe the high def quality or lack of high def quality that the pictures are, that don't show the full picture when you get pictures. Also, I think these pictures should be used for the consumer to determine, like, hey, I like this leather texture look, or I like the pattern of this ostrich quill. Not like, are there any marks or scratches or anything that could be considered a natural variation in the leather that I need to inspect before purchasing? I mean, Gillio has a very, to hear them talk about it, they have a very intensive 2-step quality control process. So on some level, I think it's okay for the customer to be relying on the fact that first quality is here, premium good deal is here, and premium or just straight good deal is down here. And maybe Gillio needs to define this better. They do have a section on their website that talks about natural variation and what is natural and what isn't, but I think it changes from like cowhide versus ostrich versus the croco leathers. But some things that get classified as natural variation, I question, like scratches in the leather don't feel natural to me. Yes, the cow can get scratched by barbed wire and scar. I love scarring. I'm a big fan of texture and variation in leather, so I get it. But black spots seem like a problem with dye consistency, maybe the dyeing process. Something to do with, I don't know. I just question the fact that if questioned, every possible thing going on with the leather is a natural variation issue and therefore not Gillio's fault. I also find it interesting that Gillio can't make these determinations off of photos, but they'll send you photos to pick your planner or have you buy the planner without photos, and you're supposed to approve your planner with photos or blind, basically. So if you have one of these problems and you email Gillio pictures of your planner and they decide, okay, send it back to us. Once we have it in hand, we'll determine if this is actually natural variation or an issue with the leather and then refund you accordingly. You're generally speaking out the shipping cost. Sometimes they'll refund the shipping. It depends on really what kind of a hoo-hoo has been made on the forum and how seriously they're taking the concerns. Sometimes these concerns get shut down and not addressed. Sometimes they receive enough volume that they do get addressed. Mella recently just posted a live where she talked about some quality concerns that have been going on at Gillio due to changes in staffing from COVID and whatnot. This is July of 2020, in case anybody was wondering when I'm filming. But I have had planners where I question the bucketing that they put it in. Like I bought a premium good deal undyed standard gira that had clip marks from the tannery and spots where I don't even know what it would be a spot of. It was just a darker tan, like the little tiny spot that got more sun than something. I don't know. But it seemed like enough of something that it should have been a good deal, not a premium good deal. And, you know, at the time I was like, whatever, I'll just take it. It's undyed. It's going to age as I use it. At some point, I won't even notice these marks. I rationalized myself into not making a big deal. But then I'm not the kind of person that sends food back at the restaurant either, you know? So I wonder how much of just accepting things is common where we find surprises. But what really turned me off about that undyed standard gira that I bought was that it wasn't mentioned. Like, this was very easy to see when I was holding the planner in my hands, but it was not easy to see in the photos that they sent me. It's one example. It's by no means the end of the world, or all things will end up like this, right? I will tell you, I have bought 11 different planners from Gillio. 11. I have requested pictures on all of them. I was floored at the variation between this standard and my photos. Floored. But it was an undyed. What am I going to do? Pay $50 to send it back to not have an undyed planner? So I accepted it. It definitely colored my opinion of Gillio, and to be honest, I haven't bought anything from them since. It made me feel used and taken advantage of. And honestly, that experience right there made me realize that buying from the buy-sell trade group gave me more peace of mind that I would be getting the planner that I thought I was getting, that it would match the pictures that I was shown, that the quality was disclosed because of the rules that go into the Gillio marketplace. Even buying on Instagram, where there are less rules, I feel like things are better disclosed. You can get more photos, better photos with different lighting than I can from Gillio. So my number one recommendation, if you're going to order from Gillio, is to ask for photos, and then to ask for additional photos. Ask for photos in natural light. Ask for photos of spots that look like they could be something, and you just want to be sure. I would also kind of like to do an informal poll. So I've got 2 comments in the bottom. One for, I've always had great experiences buying from Gillio and been completely satisfied. And 2 for, I have had at least one poor experience buying from Gillio that left me unsatisfied. I just want to know how many of us are not talking about this. I would also invite everybody to leave their transaction results in the comments here. So if somebody is new and considering buying a Gillio, this is a place where they can go and look up anything Gillio related to see cases and examples where things went well and where things went not so well. Because it is my opinion that this is maybe 10% of the orders that they do. But when it's your order and this is maybe the one Gillio you're going to have, I don't want somebody to sour on the brand because of some policies that Gillio could look at and address and make more customer friendly. I think they're able to do this because of the hype and demand for Gillio. And until such time as consumers we get together and say, hey, these are not things that I can accept. I would not accept this kind of shipping policy. I would not accept this kind of blanket assumption that anything I show you is natural variation. I wouldn't accept that in an Etsy seller selling me a planner. I wouldn't take this at face value from any other seller that I can think of that is also a mom and pop shop. Like, there is a difference between being a luxury brand and a small family business. And I get that you can be both, but you have to cater to your customers if you're selling at a luxury price point. And I want people to understand that there is a level of Gillio first that I see in their policies and that I have felt personally. Enough that it keeps me from buying directly from the company. And I want more than anything for Gillio to earn my trust back and for me to be able to, in good conscience and without feeling like I'm risking my money, to place orders with them again. But if we don't talk about it and we don't let them know that this is a concern, how are they going to address it? So you tell me, what's your experience been like with Gillio? Am I alone? Is it just me? Am I being unreasonable? Gillio had 11 chances. It's not like this was a one and done and I've just made up my mind. They did not mess up on all 11, and I'm not trying to imply that they did, but my personal experience combined with things I've read on the Facebook group and the forum, and I feel like there's a level of we're not talking about it because there is such a strong following on that Facebook group that really anything remotely critical of the company gets labeled negative and shut down very fast. If that doesn't happen, maybe the comments get closed. If that doesn't happen, I feel like there's not a lot of resolution or recourse, and I would like to have a real conversation about how people are feeling about Gillio. And I love them. I love their planners. I think they're beautiful, and I think you should buy one if you can afford it and you want one, and you should buy from Gillio. Just know there is a small possibility that it could all go horribly wrong. Tell me what you think.